Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's time for another special episode of
Bible.
He got it right.
I did find it.
Bible battles. Yes, we are making our way through our favorite books of the Bible, trying to figure out which one is number one. We've been doing it tournament style, and there have been a lot of matches that we've talked about, and we're into the third round, the Sweet 16, and we're making our way. And the more we do this, the harder it gets, right?
Yes.
Because our favorite
Obviously.
books are coming up head to head. So we've got some interesting books to talk about tonight. How's everybody feeling?
Not great.
Yeah, this is tough.
Going to be some challenging ones, but we're going to talk about them, and we hope that you will be sharing these with your friends, reading through the books and figuring out which ones you like, and maybe where we were wrong in this. But we're going to get right to it now here in the third round, Sweet 16. We have the book of Daniel, an amazing book of both prophecy and wonderful stories that just about every kid knows if they've heard anything from the Bible or gone to Bible school. Daniel, and it's going up against 2 Samuel, which is also a wonderful book about, even though it's called 2 Samuel, it's about David and the wonderful things that David was doing. And the challenging things David was doing as well. That was not an easy story there. But two great books that tell the story of God and His love. So, what are our thoughts on Daniel and 2 Samuel? It's kind of Daniel versus David, I guess, here.
I wish it was Daniel versus Revelation.
That would be easier for you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe someday that will be coming up. We don't know. We don't know.
I'm gonna go with Daniel.
Picking Daniel?
I
All right.
am. Just because of the stories of Daniel. There's a lot of our prophecies in there as well. But I like more of Daniel and the Lion's Den. And some of those.
Fiery Furnace.
Yeah, some of those fun little stories.
Okay. All right. Do you want to go next?
Yeah, I can go. So recently, I feel like every sort of between Sabbath school, religion class, just everything just seems to be focusing on Daniel right now, and I'm kind of just getting fed up with Daniel.
Not falling in love with it more?
No, I mean, at first I was, and we were getting into the first section, and then just everything else just started to focus on Daniel, and I'm like, that's just a little bit too much Daniel for me.
Kind of listening to your favorite song too many times on the radio.
It just kind of is yes, I've heard this now 4 times. I'm ready for anything else. But regardless, I still think Daniel would probably top 2 Samuel for me, so I'm going to go with Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even though it was fading, it pulled through. I love the stories of David. I love David as a character in the Bible, a flawed character in the Bible, and yet someone who God loved and helped through his problems and mistakes. But I have to go with Daniel as well. If Daniel's
just a juggernaut.
It is, and I think it's going to go maybe all the way. Who knows? For me, Daniel was the book, along with Revelation, that I first started studying when I was becoming a Christian, and it was the prophecy in Daniel 9 that just blew my mind and helped me realize that the Bible was not just a great collection of stories, but was real and that it came from God. And so it's going to be hard for me to ever vote against Daniel. We'll see if that happens in the future. But Daniel goes into the next round.
Yeah, with Daniel versus David, for me, I was well, they both have really good stories, but then Daniel had the prophecy part of it. And I was you know what? I think that one makes it top 2 Samuel.
Every time you open Daniel, you learn something new.
Yeah, there's fascinating stuff there. All right, that brings us to our next matchup, which is Old Testament versus New Testament. We have the book of Numbers, which is one of the first 5 books of the Bible, telling the story of the Exodus and going through the wilderness, trying to get to the Promised Land, against the Gospel of Luke. And I know you're thinking, well, goodness, if it's a gospel, it's certainly going to get voted through. That is not true, friends. We don't know what will happen with the Gospels with these two characters here. So it's about to get interesting.
Yep.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first. I don't know if these two are in love with Numbers. They might be. I think Numbers is a fascinating book.
I like math.
But I'm going, just like math, I'm going with Luke. It's an amazing story. There are parts of Luke that that because of Luke, we wouldn't have parts of Jesus' story without. We wouldn't have the prodigal son parable. We wouldn't have the story of the thief on the cross without Luke. So for me, Luke has to go through. It's just a wonderful story about Jesus and his victory.
I guess I'll go second again. I'm gonna go with Luke because I'm sitting next to him. No,
But you're also sitting next to me.
you really want me to pick numbers that much? For me, Luke has it's one of the two gospels that has the story of baby Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
and then it has parables. It's probably one of my top favorite gospels. I'd probably say it is. I don't know. John is probably also up there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Luke tops numbers for me.
Okay. So we've got two. What about the lady among us? She loves the story of Balaam.
I have to go with Luke.
Luke as well.
Yeah, I just think if I was to sit down and read one of those books,
You'd rather do Luke.
I'd probably rather read Luke.
Well, see, these weren't hard at all. We've got
No,
2,
I
3,
guess
and O's
not.
going
The first
through.
one was hard.
The first one was tricky. It was tricky to decide.
Yeah,
but,
those two were hard.
But we've got Daniel going through and Luke going through, and now those two are going to meet head to head in the future. The future rounds. That's not going to be easy
Not at all.
whatsoever. So, but what are
Not
we
excited for it.
What are we going to be talking about next time? We've got some great books that we're going to be discussing.
No, I may just not want to show up to this one because
Your mom's probably going to be throwing books out again.
Oh, of course.
I throw
The first
all of these
bracket.
forward.
The first bracket is going to be amazing because it is the beginning versus the end, or the new beginning, because it's Genesis versus Revelation, two books that I really adore. That's going to be a tough
That
choice.
was my prediction for the final, right there.
Oh, well, it can't be.
Couldn't be this
No.
way. And then in our next matchup next time, we're going to have Exodus, which is also an amazing book. Everyone knows the story of the Exodus if they know anything about the Bible and Moses. That's going up against the Gospel of John. And again, you can't just assume that Gospels are going to roll through because Matthew already took a fall because of these two. So join us next time as we battle some more and we make our way through the Sweet 16. As you can see, there's already pain and consternation on their faces as they look at these, trying to figure out what they're going to do next time. But the fun part about this is there's no bad book in the Bible. They're all amazing. Some are challenging, and many of them are inspiring. All of them are inspiring, and maybe all of them are challenging at times. But we encourage you to read through them, figure out which one is your favorite. Talk to your friends, your family about it. We hope you like this video. We hope you'll share it with others. And let's just keep in God's Word. Let's keep reading, and let's keep having fun in these Bible battles. So thank you guys for doing this again.
It's painful.
And we'll see you next time. Take care.